And welcome back to the hot stage. We've got Chris with us now. We're recording as, well, they're on for a break now, but Rally Croatia is currently go. But we're going to talk Rally Croatia ERC. We're going to talk points, because I know this is something that you'd like to make a big point about the points. So I'll let you decide what you want to talk about first, though, Chris. Now we've got you here.
Yeah,
so
we both wanted to make the similar big points.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
As you say, we are a bit late actually ranting about the point system as it turned out in the Safari Rally. But meanwhile, we also had the first round of the ERC, and I think that also proves our points because, well, I asked you for a start, how many drivers did you see slow down on the Sunday in Rally Hungary in ERC?
None, unless they had a problem.
None. Yeah, exactly. So there was no cruising also. And
well, you say that, Chris. There was no cruising, but let's just say the last 3 or 4 stages, there was cruising because people started losing tyres, having problems, but it wasn't. They weren't meant to be cruising. Yeah, you're right. It was an absolute, not quite disaster, but the rally got turned on its head. What an exciting Sunday.
It was probably a bit too many punctures for my taste. Well, we wanted to be sport, but it happens ever again in ERC that the last 3-4 stages, everything is turned upside down again because they are fighting so closely, similar cars. It's fantastic. And well, one thing I have in mind, and when I discuss that with the point system and with the Sunday cruising, I keep saying the WRC should look at ERC, and many people say, well, you mean WRC should be shorter, so the guys are closer together. And no, that is absolutely not the point. It's maybe WRC should be switched on to have the half day on Friday night as a teaser when people are at home, because Friday morning most are working, and have the Sunday the full double loops. And it is, yes, ERC events are shorter than WRC, but the Sunday of an ERC event is actually twice as long as a WRC Sunday, and that is already where it starts. In a WRC Sunday, you have no chance to fight back. And in fact, I'm glad that we saw ERC Hungary now before we started our points run, because it showed a perfect example. One of the unexpected guys in the results, I mean, we were all surprised that Simone Tempestini won. It was his first ERC win. But Mathieu Franceschi is a new guy from France, actually French gravel champion, so he should be good on gravel. But he rolled on Saturday and was down in 10th place, and he started the Sunday in 7th.
Yeah.
And with the long Sunday we had, he actually managed to fight all the way back up to 2nd overall from 7th, and making up 5 places on a Sunday. In WRC, where we sometimes only have 3 stages, that's completely impossible. And that, I think, is a shame. And but then, since we wanted to mainly talk about the WRC point system, so if I come back to Safari, I see you already have done a video about the winners and losers as you saw them in the Safari Rally. And I must say, on the winners, we both absolutely agree.
Oh, look at that. Good.
Yeah, and on the losers, I picked maybe a surprise, because on the losers, there was only one big loser for me, and that was none of the drivers. The big losers was the WRC itself, and that big fight. Because for a start, what a fantastic rally the Safari was. Fantastic scenery, fantastic and ecstatic fence. Best fence in the world, how they lined even the road sections. There were 3 deep there for kilometers. Fantastic wildlife, flora and fauna, massive different from one stage to the next, as if you were on a completely different rally. So that was absolutely fantastic sport. And when you checked social media, what was talked about the most was off the stages, the point system. And that I think is very sad for the WRC. And then when I say that is a gain for the point system, I think most know by now how the point system is done this year with three sets of points, one at the end of Saturday, one for the Sunday alone, and then the power stage as well. And I said we agreed on our winners for the Safari Rally. And I find it interesting if we look now at these winners. So Kalle Rovanperä is a winner for us, definitely. He dominated.
He won. If I said to you though about Kalle Rovanperä, he dominated. Do you think though there is still an element of luck because there's nothing you can do about hitting stones? Do you think or not, or is that really unfair on him?
That would be a bit unfair on him. I think on Friday there was a portion of luck, but I also think that was his tactic. And when you see, again, according to the point system, he won all 6 stages on the Friday. And, well, fair enough, he doesn't drive for points. He wanted to win that rally. But he won all 6 stages on the Friday. And that was the day where he took some risks and probably needed some luck, so he didn't have punctures. But I see it as that was his plan of attack. At the end of Friday, he had a 2 minutes lead. So what did you expect him to do from here?
Yeah.
In every stage on Saturday, imagine by Sunday he had won 12 stages, had a 10 minutes lead, and then binned it trying to win another stage. Absolutely everybody, fans and experts alike, would have shouted, "How dumb is he?"
Yeah,
and, true. No, it was actually absolutely clever because he had this massive attack on Friday. If something had happened, he maybe could have caught up again. Nothing did happen, so he spent Saturday and Sunday defending his position. And I would say in any kind of motorsport, even in Formula One, even if you have a tiny lead, Formula One circuit racing, you maybe do it in a different way, but you try to defend your position. And for me, defending a position is part of motorsport, and in rallying even more so than in other parts of motorsports. It is sport. And I think for that, Kalle is already a great example. And he won the rally, did a tactical, clever rally. And Tanak, he didn't even complete the distance, was fifth, 10 minutes, eighth. Actually, it was Neubel, he was fifth, but he also had massive problems, 10 minutes down. He only got 1 point less than the winner, who did an absolutely clever rally. Yeah. And then Gus Greensmith was a winner for us. He is a guy I was very surprised at the Safari Rally. I was like, all my respect to him. I'm sorry, a bit of a cough. I never saw him as a really top driver. But Gus showed me a new dimension why the point system is so wrong, and a dimension that wasn't really obvious yet.
Okay.
Gus is a winner for me because it was his very first Safari. He was ill on Friday and Saturday, and despite all this, he completed one of the hardest and most unique rallies without a single mistake. He was 6th overall in the end, leaving several Rally 1 cars behind. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic for a Safari debut. He won the Rally 2 class. Fantastic. So come Sunday, he had no chance to beat the Rally 1 cars into the top 7 for the Sunday points or the top 5 for power stage.
Right.
So in this example, you see newcomer drivers or drivers in lesser cars that could really profile themselves suddenly can't. They are shortchanged by this point system. And in this example, Gus got 6 points from Saturday, no chance at all on Sunday points. And under the old point system, he would at least have had 8.
Yeah.
But not enough with that. Gus was 6 overall and got 6 points. Tanak did not even complete the distance. He was only 8th. Yes, he got twice as much points as Gus Greensmith.
That's so bad. That's so bad. That's so bad. I agree.
If you ever want new drivers and new manufacturers, they have to start from somewhere. This point system, to me, is an example how to scare them away.
Well, yeah. I mean, what's to stop someone tactically? I don't know how. I don't know whether this would ever work. But thinking, okay, we're not. Our car is too much. It's built like paper. We're not going to do the rally. So what we're going to do? We're going to max the engine up. Max the radiators, the aeros, and just win the Sunday and get the points on the Sunday, and we won't bother with the Friday and Saturday. I mean, technically, you could now, couldn't you? And that's so wrong.
Yeah, you could basically you could do that. I was joking when Carlo Rovampere announced his part-time season. The way he dominated last year, I was already joking. If I was Carlo Rovampere and as much as I can dominate in his name or in his way he dominated, I would actually come to every rally. Drive over the start ramp on Friday, go to the beach, have a nice day, drive over the start ramp on Saturday, go to the beach, have a nice day, and then with a fresh car go full attack on Sunday. Takes 12 points Sunday every rally in 6 rallies. I think we are at somewhere 140, 150 points. That would be enough to win the title.
No, I know. I mean. Oh yeah, the point system. I think we've got enough data now comparing to the ERC and with the WRC after their 3 events. It's a failure. I mean, it's the equivalent, of say for example you're racing at Le Mans the 24 hours. Yeah, it's the equivalent of you crashing out in hour 5 and then you wheeling out in hour 20 and then winning the race. Or you know what I mean, or finishing second or third. And that is so unfair. I know they wanted to make Sunday make more of a difference, but as you said, if you want to make Sunday make more of a difference, you take away most of Friday, 2/3 of Friday, and put that on the Sunday, and then suddenly Sunday being equal, one of the longest days, along with Saturday, but make Sunday a longer day maybe, and then it sorts it out naturally. Then that's it. That's what the ERC have done. I don't understand why they can't look at it now and think we've made a mistake. I cannot see this point system coming back next year anyway.
As well, I have something to that a bit later. But the main problem really is that the drivers that are retired, they go slow because they don't care about their position, and they have fresh tires mainly. So for me, the power stage only makes sense if everybody has fresh tires for it. Mm-hmm. And that's not the case. That could already fix most of the problem. And then as well, if the Sunday is longer, drivers have more chance to catch up. If you are with a Rally 1 car down in 20th, 25th position, you could still make it in the top 10. You can't do that on 3 stages.
No, and that's the problem, is it? I mean, quite often, unlike the ERC, when you look at the WRC, by Sunday, there's been so many times that the winner, unless they make a stupid mistake, which they're not going to, it's already decided. So you could almost be like, well, I won't bother watching on Sunday.
Yeah, it is already decided, and somehow the makers of the point system seem even to confirm that, because they take the overall points from Saturday night. So it seems like even they don't expect much change anymore on Sunday.
No.
It's a weird one.
It's so unhealthy.
With the winning drivers from Safari, I have another example which I think shows perfectly how wrong the system is, because Adrien Fourmeau, of course, he had 2 podiums, and as a Frenchman, I think he's bound to be strong on tarmac, but he got himself into a podium position after Saturday in Sweden, and defended it on Sunday. For him, the podium was important, of course, but he does the whole season. The points are important too. And then he got himself into a podium position after Saturday in Safari again, and defended it on Sunday again. So both times he was shortchanged by points. Yeah. As a tarmac expert, with back-to-back podiums on events after worse as snow and Safari, that is exactly what makes the World Rally champion. and a driver who wins his pretty convincing podium on the last 3 stages simply is not.
Yeah.
So the point system supports the wrong drivers. And I actually made a calculation somewhere as well with, concerning him. If we take the Sunday and the power stage points away,
Yeah.
and well, that is now not going back to the old system, but just the positions we had after Saturday. If we take that away, we would now have Neuville, Evans, and Fourmont all tied at 36 points. So it can't get more exciting than that. But if we include the Sunday point and the power stage points, all of a sudden, Fourmont is a full 21 points behind Neuville. And why is that? Because he did the clever thing and defended his podiums?
Yeah, he got punished for it. He got punished.
Yeah.
And he got punished. And Neuville was basically got to restart the rally almost and get some points when, it might not necessarily be his fault, but it's a team sport. When if you make a mistake and your car's not up to it, that's it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a marathon, not a sprint, and they're treating it like almost it's almost turned into 2 complete separate events. But the people that get to restart again, they can think, well, I saved my car, I saved my tyres, I can do it now. And the people that have contested the rally all the way through, they're getting punished on the Sunday, and it's so unfair.
Yeah, exactly. See the example that Tanak, he didn't even complete the distance. He was down in 8th. He gets double the points of the guy who is in 6th.
No.
That makes sense.
But what's frustrating though, Chris, is you and me. Yeah, I mean you and I. We're obviously fans of rally. If it's so obvious to us, why don't the bosses do something about it? Or do you think they're too smug that they don't want to admit they made a mistake?
I would nearly think so.
Yeah.
It's difficult to blame anyone. It's normally a consortium, several people that vote for it. Not everybody is into rallying of those in the FIA or then you have the Rallies Commission, but they should see it. But I think for me the mistake already started, or how shall I say, for me the combination of Super Rally and Power Stage was a problem from the moment they invented it. I already saw a problem there straight away. And I feel, well, as you say, why don't the rule makers see it then when I see a problem straight away? And they don't want to roll back on it. And Super Rally itself, I find, is very unfair for reasons that could fill a whole video. Maybe we do a video about that one day, but it's really complicated. It starts for me being wrong already. As an example, if you retire on the first stage of the day with a scratched door handle, you miss 8 stages, 80 minutes time penalties. And as happened one year with Sepp Loeb, he crashed in Monte Carlo. He crashed a Citroen down a ravine. Car was, well, not total, but not in a nice state.
No, I'd imagine not.
And he was lucky that it happened on the last stage of the day.
Yeah.
So overnight, he fixed the car again. He was second overall in the rally. If the same incident would have happened on the first stage of the day, he can go home. So, or save the Sunday, save the car and the tires throughout Sunday, and then take the power stage points. But again, that is not right. I can see the merit. It's I don't like the Super Rally at all, but if you only have 8 Rally 1 cars, well, obviously we want to see them also on the last day.
Yeah.
So that is one advantage of Super Rally. And the power stage, I didn't like from the beginning as well, but maybe I have to admit I can also be taught something better. I do think the power stage is a great end of rally highlight. So it's good to have that. But I see the real problem is a combination of Super Rally and power stage. if someone super rallies and is accordingly way down the order, I think at the end he doesn't care if he's 38th or 43rd or something like that. He slows down, he compensates in the power stage. And well, as we said before, the solution could be so easy, allowing fresh tires for the power stage or something like that.
Yeah.
Because for me, the main problem really is the Super Rally drivers on a Sunday go slow. And someone like, say, Adrian Fourmeau, who has a podium, wants to defend this podium, and is a minute ahead of the guy in fourth. He is not driving that slow on Sunday. He drives that he loses maybe 30, 40 seconds.
Yeah.
That is tactic. That is absolutely all right for me. What we don't want to see is someone going like walking speeds.
No.
Guys, they are the problem. And as well, again, with that Fourmeau example, or Calogero Perret in the Safari defending his lead, if you count them in as driving slow, well, they still did. So the new point system did not actually fix the problem.
No, it didn't. No. That's what it was meant to do was sort that out, but it hasn't.
Yeah.
And like you and I completely saying is, like ERC, all you need to do is make Sunday bigger. That would be the big solution then. That's the biggest solution. Because then drivers, if Sunday's one of the biggest days, they can't, unless you have like Calais, who's was like a minute or two ahead of Safari, you can't cruise because there's too much to play for. There's too many stages.
Can't cruise, and ERC, well, it's very close, but well, see again that example with Mathieu Franceschi in Hungary. He started the Sunday in 7th and finished 2nd overall.
Yeah.
Fantastic. That is what we want to see.
Yeah. I mean, it was a case of never give up because that Saturday and because the Sunday was big. So you never give up. You never know what's going to happen. And because there were so many chances for stuff to go wrong, I know you said there ended up being too many punctures. So the guy in 7th ended up finishing, on the podium. I mean, that's amazing. And it made for a really,
Again, with Hungary as an example, in the end, it was pretty much a fight between, for the last stage, it was pretty much a fight between Hayden Paddon and Simone Tempestini. And Tempestini was leading by 7.7 seconds.
Yeah.
And I felt sorry for Paddon to have the puncture. But he had no chance to go for it. And in the splits, he already caught up on Tempestini. It looked like he could do it, and then that puncture happened.
I know.
Well, that is rallying too. But I would guess if at that point Paddon had the comfort of leading by 20, 30 seconds, he wouldn't have taken the risk anymore. He would have given maybe 15 seconds ahead away. But nobody would have had a problem with it.
No, you're right. No, Chris, you're absolutely correct. No one would have had a problem with it at all. It's so frustrating.
Yeah, and again, with coming back to the point system, we also had the situation in Safari that. Well, I want to get onto the manufacturers because we've seen in Sweden, Lappi won and didn't get the most points in Safari. Well, if you want to find new fans or so, how about? Well, in Safari we had this, we had a situation that Hyundai basically had a catastrophic Safari. All three cars had a myriad of problems, and even Hyundai admitted during the event that they have an ongoing transmission problem. Toyota had no issues at all except punctures. So Toyota finishes 1st, 2nd, 4th. Hyundai finishes 5th, 8th, and 12th. Then Toyota won 12 stages out of 20, Hyundai only 8. And it probably would have been more wins for Toyota had they not been first and second on Friday. But Toyota won 2/3 of the stages. Toyota clearly took speed out to secure their results on Sunday, which is sport. While Hyundai still kept having problems all of Saturday and was lucky even still on Sunday. So with 3 cars, all 3 had problems Fridays, all 3 had problems Saturday. One of them still had problems Sunday. So Hyundai really had, on that occasion, a very embarrassing rally, where Toyota had a 1-2-4 and won 2/3 of the stages. The best Hyundai was still behind the worst Toyota.
Yep.
And still, Toyota only got 4 points more than Hyundai. And that again, that is absolutely not how to make new manufacturers interested in this.
No.
And with that example I said before, we in Sweden, Lappi won and still got less points than some other drivers.
That's so bad.
In Safari, Kalle did an absolute clever rally, dominated the Friday. The rest was being smart. Only gets 1 point more than Neuville. And the same could happen in the manufacturers. And I have one virtual nightmare scenario for us. So how about just picture Toyota and Alvin Evans go to the last round, which is Rally Japan and Toyota's home. They go there in the lead. And now imagine Evans and Toyota win the rally as well. And still are not champions because Neuville and Hyundai come 5th or something and won a couple of stages on Sunday. So how do you explain that, not only to the fans, but more even, how do you explain that to the Toyota managers that are out there and watch it?
That would be a nightmare. You're right. That would be an absolute nightmare because he comes in, like you would in Formula One and other things, in the lead of the championship. You win the race or you win the rally, but you're not the champion. And that is not an impossible scenario. That would be horrendous. I mean,
that's indeed a possible scenario. And as I say, Sweden and Safari both thought that this could happen. So how do you sell this to Toyota and in fact any interested new manufacturer? It's imagine that to happen. That would be an absolute nightmare for Toyota. I couldn't see them. Well, I made a note. I know Akio Toyoda-san is a great big rally fan, and he is, see the name, he is the boss of Toyota, or I'm not sure that there are several bosses, but he is one of the top bosses of Toyota, and his granddad was the founder of Toyota, and he's such a big rally fan. But imagine Toyota comes to Japan in the lead, wins Japan, and loses the title. I wouldn't be surprised if Akio Toyoda said, I withdraw my support after that.
Yeah. It's a complete joke, isn't it? You're thinking, oh my gosh. Yeah. You're spending all this money as a manufacturer. You should have won the championship, and you get the carpet pulled underneath your legs at the last minute. And and then surely, say for example, Neuville ends up winning that way. Surely he thinks, if he really was honest and looks in the mirror, even he must think, well, I won it, but I probably shouldn't have really, because the point system allowed us to almost manipulate it. I know everyone's got the same, going to the same boat, but the point system is so skewed. It's so skewed. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so unfair. I mean, you're almost better off having a rally on Saturday with points and then having a rally on Sunday with points. That would arguably be fair. It would be against the rally because, as I said, the idea is, like Rover and Pera, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's all tactical. I'm going to push on this stage. We're not on this stage. I need to nurse the car. I need to be careful now. And now I'm going to push. I got the new tyres. But
you want the tactics on the stages and not in the rule book.
Yeah.
Really.
It's so wrong. I'm just getting cross now, Chris. After talking, I'm just getting really angry now because it's so
I think some
unfair.
drivers may say, well, this is the rule, so you have to make them work for you. So I act accordingly. But then again, we saw even Elvin Evans after Sweden. Uh, he was he was second there. He was third after Saturday, so he got the Saturday points for third place, not for second. And despite that, he still got more points than Lappi. And had he got points for second after Saturday, he would have even, I think, 5 or 6 points more than Lappi, who won. And instead of being happy about his point situation after Sweden, Evans actually turned round to the press, I think it was to Turkish, and said, "This is rubbish. I don't like it."
Fair play to him, though. I mean, fair play to Evans. But yeah, no, I think he's right because he can see this sport he loves, and is almost laughable with this new point system. And what's annoying is I think people, even the biggest, some of the optimists said, "Okay, let's give it a go. Let's give this point system a go," and we have done now. We're three rallies in, and it's very obvious it's not working. But as you said, I cannot.
Monte Carlo, it was all right because it didn't make too much of a difference. But Sweden and Safari, it both was utterly unfair to the guys. C4 more fighting for podium or defending his podium, or all our winners. Gus Greensmith with his fantastic Safari result, Calogero Vanpere doing a clever Safari and winning it. All three were punished by the point system. So being clever and being tactical means you are being punished.
Yeah, I mean,
and both is part of rallying, really.
I mean, luckily there are only eight cars in the championship league, but you could almost have could you have an occasion then where the world champion tactically doesn't even finish on the podium but can still be the champion because they've done it tactically, which will be a joke.
Yeah. Could be. Let me walk it through. If you say.
If you say fourth and then wins on Sunday, for example,
or you could have a situation. Let's say finish the last round Saturday, you are fourth, so that's 10 points, and get maximum points on Sunday. That's 22 points.
Yeah,
that could win you the title.
That good, couldn't it? But then you've never been on the podium for any of the rallies.
I must add that could win you the title even if you're not leading the championship.
Yeah,
of course, we always have that when you are 10 points ahead, then you might even want to finish fourth to defend your points gap. But again, nobody ever had a problem with that.
No.
But when you are 10 points, when you are fourth and the fastest on Sunday, and you get 22 points, and the winner of the rally gets 18 points, then we have a problem.
We do. Well, let's be honest. Even without that, we've got a problem until this point system changes. But I can't, as you said, I can't see it changing this year. I think we're stuck with it for this year. I just pray that
it wouldn't be right to change the point system mid-season, because then a 2-point system in one season, that wouldn't be right. But I really hope after that season it is gone again.
I think it will.
And
I hope.
And I think this Toyota is actually the prime example, because by coincidence their home rally is the last one. But a scenario, they come to their home rally, lead the championship, win the rally, and still lose the title. So that is actually possible.
I know. I hope that doesn't happen. I hope that doesn't happen.
Very, very positive way. Because I have seen an interview with Walter Röhrl recently. And he had his edges. He always said when something wasn't right, but he wasn't constantly nagging. He said when something with the rules wasn't right, and I thought he would come forward with a comment on the point system. And maybe I linked that later under this video. But with Walter Röhrl, we have a double world champion, 1980 and 1982. a 4 times winner of the Rally Monte Carlo in 4 different makes of cars.
Oh.
And he still thinks rally is better than the roundy stuff. Recently, he made a comparison compared to rally Formula One as kindergarten. He was a bit criticized for that, but he explained it well. If you see, in circuit racing, you have to be more precise, and he actually admitted that is something he never really wanted to do. He did it in the end and was successful there too. But for him, it is far better if the conditions change. You don't go round and round, but every corner is different. You are 2 people in the car. Even the weather changes. You have to improvise far more, and far more unexpected. And but with Walter Röhrl, he keeps saying that rally is about endurance, about strategy,
Yeah, it is.
and about. And even though the world has changed, but he never lost his fascination. He watched every rally, every WRC event. He was at the stages and the prize giving on the penultimate round of WRC 2023. And only recently in the historic Rally Monte Carlo 2024, he competed again with one of these monster Audi Sport Quattro S1. So you would think he's really still in it. And recently in an interview, he said, since the new point system, he doesn't watch the WRC anymore. It is only show, not sport. WRC completely lost its point with this system, and he can't be bothered anymore.
Oh my
There is no reason to watch it anymore. And that is a loss that we should think about. And wasn't it Carlos Sainz saying something very similar recently? I think so. I can't find it now. But I found that very interesting. If we want to find new fans, that is always a good idea. New manufacturers too. But if we lose old fans in the process, and even professionals to a degree of a double world rally champion saying, I can't be bothered watching it anymore, and fixing it straight to the point system, I think that tells something.
That does. You're right. That does. That's a massive exclamation mark, isn't it? When you can make an argument like one of the biggest rally fan supporters, and he's like, no, I'm done.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, this Motorsport Council in June meeting and what's going to come out of it, I think, has never been as important for years, decades, I think.
Yeah.
So okay, well, I guess we'll leave it there. We'll leave it there then, Chris, because I know you need to go pick up your little one. So so see you later, guys.
Yeah. Okay. See you later. Thanks.